Good morning, guys. So wishing you well on this Tuesday bank holiday. I'm a little bit early, being very, very keen. So we'll wait a few minutes for obviously people join a little bit late. They'll be dissecting the market, see what's going on, taking some signals, making some profit. So we go live every single morning at 8 a.m. for the London session open, and then 1 p.m. in the afternoon for the New York session to open. 4 hours a day, live trading with Cam truly means live trading with Cam. So we don't do this on a Friday afternoon. That's the only day we get off, but we do the morning session. So what do we do? What's this all about? If you're new, we're basically an education and technology business that provides trading ideas for our clients, completely free. There's no charges, there's no membership. We don't ask for anything other than the fact that you work with our partner brokers so that we may get some referral fees and pay ourselves that way. So we have two signals ideas. One is a completely new machine learning, and the other is a very seasoned pro trader, a good friend of ours, who's currently trying to have a bit of a holiday in Turkey at this moment in time. So signals are a little bit thin on the ground, but that's why we have two different systems, because business should never stop, right? We try not to have a single point of failure in our business. So say hello, let me know where you're watching from. Two things. So where are you based and who are you? Say good morning. Matthias will not be here today. He's on holiday also. I believe it's his birthday yesterday or today. And so if you're watching, Matthias, many happy returns, brother. Hope you have a lovely day. So what we do is we start our session. So if you're starting out right now, this is the first thing that you're doing. And what you want to do is you want to see where the market is, right? So look at the lay of the land. What has it been doing? So I normally go, so up here you get the time scale. So this is the day chart. So I want to see what has the market been doing. Zoom out. What's the big picture here? So we've got this big drop here. Yeah, 18th, 19th. And then it's been kind of ranging. So, and then obviously we had some news that the Americans and the Iranians were going to reach some kind of peace settlement. So then the market just jumps, the other night, it went up quite considerably. And so obviously, as I said, these are the day charts. So this would be Monday. So yesterday it rose. And then, of course, it flatlines because there's no deal in the offing at all. But that doesn't really concern us. We want the fundamentals. So we look at the range of the market, where it's at. So today's range, 45.22 to 45.80. So I look at that. Hi, Aki, how you doing? Lovely to see you from London. Thank you for joining us this morning. So what we do then is get rid of this advert. So this is the free version of TradingView. So you don't have to pay anybody if you don't want to, okay? You can have this for absolutely free. Then we'll go to the 1 hour, see what the hour's doing. Okay. So this was Sunday's, and we can see it now. So this was Sunday market open, anticipation over the weekend, bang, right? Continues, anticipation wanes. So dollar was down, bond yields were down. Everybody's hoping, right, we're going to get a deal. And this is what will happen when a deal gets announced and it's permanent, okay? And the market believes it. So then the hours, since last night, been selling. 4 hours of selling, hour of buying, another hour of selling. Now we've had 3 small hours of buying since 6 a.m. this morning. So London's just started in a positive. And these are the things that you need to be looking at, okay? So just gather your thoughts and sit down and think, right, what is my trading day going to look like? And it doesn't matter what time of the day you start. If it's first thing at night, last thing in whatever time it is, right? The lovely thing about the on-demand AI-generated signal service is that you can determine when you want to sit and trade, so you don't have to wait, okay? So Then these are the time frames that we actually work in, because we scalp the market, price action. So what we see is what we trade, not what we feel, right? Not what we think, but what we see. So two very, very different things, because emotions get in the way of most traders. The reason most people can't make any money is because of emotions, nothing else. Get very emotional about losing money, making money, losing money. So if you see here, this drop here, so 7:28, this is on the 1 minute. So 7:30, there was a fairly decent drop. So if you count that, 45.35 down to 29, about 60, 70 pips. Then it's been kind of ranging in between that and that point, and that's what it's doing. So where are we in terms of, so how do you obtain the signals? You need to be in our Telegram group. So let me know if you're not, and we can let you have access to that. No issues at all. And then from our Telegram group, we have two VIP groups. One is for the mechanical institutional order flow signals, and the other one is completely new and generated with very, very cutting edge technology, far smarter than anything that I could think of. So what tends to happen is we are currently, I'm going to refresh that because you can do that. So that's saying it's neutral, which means we're not trading. And sitting on your hands, not trading, is what will happen most of the time. So trading is a little bit like your car. If you're a car owner, 95% of the time your car stands around doing absolutely nothing, whether it's parked at work, parked at home, or parked in the shopping center, right? So that's exactly what trading needs to be. 95% of the time, you need to be sitting on your hands doing absolutely nothing, watching and looking at the market, looking at, this is your business. So you should be looking at this all the time. If anybody wants to join me today, then send me a message and I'll send you a link over, and you can join the lives. So that's where we're at in terms of the market's not doing much. It's jumping up and down. But now, so like I said, we've got a neutral on the signal system. And you can refresh that many times as you like. But where you should be is, you should be really thinking slightly longer term. So that's swapped over to a buy now. Direction confidence 58%, still an orange line, 66%, and machine learning score 60%. So not the most definitive of signals, if you want to know, but it's there all the same. So have you guys been trading this morning? And have you made any money, which is more importantly? So I've been trading this morning, and I trade 3 accounts. So I'm blessed to let you know that all 3 of them are in profit, which is the main thing in life. So we got a few percent on that one. We got 0.5%, 0.75% on that one. And again, we've got a few percent on that one. Okay. Now, in these times when we have moments when the signal service necessarily isn't active. So as I said, our trading partner's on holiday this week. So he's done signals from about 4 o'clock till about 7:30, 8 o'clock. Last message, TP2 hit, 70 pips. So we'll have the resumption of the signal service, the manual one, resuming from between 4 and 5 o'clock this afternoon. And if the market is there, right, which is a key. So even as a seasoned trader, he's saying, you know what? If the market has the setups that we can actually enter. So entering the market just haphazardly, or just because you're sitting down trading, is not the way to become a successful trader. That's not how it's done, and nobody does that. Okay, so I'm going to go through some news with you guys whilst we're here. And again, when you're not trading, this is the kind of stuff that you should be doing, right? Gold eases, Middle East uncertainty persists. So that was 4 o'clock this morning. So it's a few hours old. Slipped to 4,550 an ounce on Tuesday. Parent gains from the previous session as heightened uncertainty. US military reportedly targeted missile launch sites, blah, 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 right? I don't really want to get bogged down with this, all the politics of it. I don't really care. Gold prices remain down nearly 15% since the conflict began, as fears of an energy-driven inflation shock reinforce expectations that central banks could maintain tighter monetary policy for longer. So let me just unpack all of that for you. So, somebody's joining us from Kenya. Wow. Yeah. Vincent. Yes. Hi, Vincent. Hope you're well, my friend. So what's happening here is that when the talks are progressing, peace, right, is imminent. So if peace is imminent, then what happens is that peace will drive down prices of oil, particularly, and other goods and durables, because a lot of shipping's being affected by the Strait of Hormuz being blocked. About 20% of our goods and services, or goods rather, come from there. So if inflation is lower, then interest rates will be lower. If interest rates are lower, then people's money in the bank is earning them nothing. And then gold starts rising in price because it's a safe haven, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, right? So that's what they're talking about. Remain 15% lower since the conflict. If it's energy-driven inflation shock, right? Reinforced expectations. Central banks could maintain a tighter monetary. So tighter monetary policy means that interest rates are higher for longer. And if people are getting high interest in their bank accounts, not that it's anything like 4% a year, right? If they're getting that, then what's going on is that they're less likely to buy gold, because gold actually doesn't yield any income. You just hold it. Physical gold I'm talking about, right? But we don't care about that again, because we trade gold. So we can make money when the market's coming down, and we can make money when the market's going up. So those are called your sells and your buys, right? And so that's how we make our money as a trader. The difference between an investor and a trader is that an investor puts money into something, stocks, shares, gold, property, and then waits for the market to rise and makes money that way. Okay, so company stocks and shares, company announces great profits, share price goes up, you make money. Company has a rubbish year, but as an investor, you really are a passenger. You don't do anything. You just hold. And so that's what happens there. As traders, we can make money when the market goes down because we start selling, and we buy when the market's going up. So we can make money whether the market's coming down or the market's coming up. The other thing is that if you trade as you should, then what actually happens is that most of the time your money will be just sitting in your broker account. That's your money. Yeah, that is your asset of your business, is the money that you have sitting in your account doing nothing most of the time. And most of the time it should do absolutely nothing, because you're taking no risk. Okay, you want to trade, but there's plenty of opportunities. Markets open 5 days a week, 23 hours a day, so you can trade at any point. And it was interesting because this morning I had to kind of rein myself in a bit because I get a little bit enthusiastic. So I've had a really good day on one of my accounts, like 3.5%, 4% up, absolutely fabulous. You may be able to hear those flies. Of course, now we have windows open and we have flies in this country. So, so we have. That's really annoying me. It's trapped at the. Go. Oh, it's massive. Right. Okay. It'll eventually find its way out. I'm going to shut this door so it doesn't go into my house. So I had to curb my enthusiasm this morning because I was, I don't know, 2, 3, 4% up on one of my accounts, about 0.5% up on the other account, about half. I maintain 3 accounts. And I had to actually consciously think it's 7:30 in the morning. You've got so much of the day to trade, because we get a little bit enthusiastic. I certainly do. I don't know about you, right? I certainly get enthusiastic, right? And what happens there is that, I want to try something a bit later on, right? So what happens is that you get caught in the moment and you think you've got to make all of your money in 1 minute of the day. Of course you don't, right? That's what the day's for. You've got 23 hours of trading. So if you went to work for somebody else, you'd be there. You give them 10 hours a day, right? You might say I only work 8 hours, Cam. You may work part-time, so I don't know that. So no disrespect to anybody that does that. You may have flexi working, but generally speaking, if we've got a full-time employment working 40 hours a week for our employer, we're probably giving them 2 or 3 hours free, and we're traveling, we've got lunch breaks, etc., etc., etc. Right? So those kind of things are happening. So why would you not put that time into your own business? Self-employed people, by and large, do far less hours for themselves than they did when they were working. I guess they may want it as a lifestyle business, and I get that. But if you've got this as a business and this is where you want to be, then why would you not give it more time? I'm going to go on a higher time frame because market looks like it's coming down. So is it going to come back to this part here again? Yeah. Is it going to go through? So let's see what happens. So last 5 minutes been selling. Quite a strong candle there from top to bottom, 33, 27. Yeah. So about 50, 60 pip drop. And so you've got to ask yourself, what is the time when I'm going to sit down and trade? And that could be on your sofa in the lounge, in your bedroom, in an office, wherever. So one of the things you should be doing is you should have a place where you're going to sit and trade. It could be the kitchen table. Doesn't matter, right? Not here to try and dictate or say you've got to go out and buy this. You don't have to buy anything. You can do all of this on your mobile phone. I recommend you don't, because the more tools you have to work with, the more the percentage chance that your success is going to go up. Yeah. So the more tools you have, the more your chances of succeeding at this game increase. So obviously you have to have a minimum of a phone and a Wi-Fi signal. So at a minimum, I'd recommend that you get yourself some kind of tablet or a laptop, because seeing the charts on a bigger screen will really, really help you. Right? Seeing charts MT4, MT5 on your phone isn't ideal. Of course, following the signals, you don't have to stare at the charts. You can just place your trades, which is absolutely fine. Signal comes in, place, done. Set the TP, set the stop loss, walk away. Right? It can be that easy. So, but we all have our own style. So I like to manage my trades, and I like to sit down at a desk and trade that way. And certainly, since I've done that, so I used to sit on a sofa and just have my laptop on my lap, on my phone, just be watching TV, doing this, all the rest of it. And in fairness, my trading was up and down at best, because there's distractions and there's this and there's this and that happens. And since I started doing this live with you guys, I think it's about 5-6 weeks, something like that. So it's a relatively new thing for me. But since I started doing this, I have an office at home. I come in here every day, and it took me a couple of weeks to get the setup right. So I wasn't using the Mac that I'm talking to you on now. I was just using my iPad, which is sitting over here. So I've got my Mac set up. So what I'm looking at is I'm looking at you guys. I'm seeing the chart. So I've got my chart over here. I'm seeing that. So decent sized screen. So more real estate you have, the better it is. So decent sized screen is helping me seeing the chart over here, seeing you guys over there, and seeing my signals over here. Okay. Then I've got my phone on this side to actually place or close my trades. So those are the tools of my trade. Of course, you don't need 3 screens, but if you can get a laptop and you can get a phone, it'd be absolutely ideal. Tools of your trade, right? So once you got there, decide where you're going to be trading. I'm going to sit down here every morning, every afternoon, every evening, after work, before I go to bed, whatever that is, right? Because if you have a business, and I've done this many, many times, and those of you that started a business will be familiar with this, and those of you that haven't won't be. So if you go out today and start a business and you want any kind of funding from your bank, the first thing they will ask you for is a business plan. Okay? They will ask you for a business plan, and they will say, Mr. So-and-so, blah, 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 you want to borrow some money from us. We'd like to see a business plan, please. And that business plan has basically got to say what you're going to do, when you're going to do it, how you're going to do it, what your market is. It can be a one page. It doesn't have to be War and Peace. And these days, ChatGPT will run one out for you for next to nothing. And so that's what they ask for as a minimum. The people that do the business plans versus the people that don't, the success rate doubles. Okay. And the people that actually have it written down. So if you can sit down for a few hours, and if you want to change your life, if you want this to be as a career, if you want this to be as a business, then you've got to take it seriously. So you sit down and you think, right, I'm just keeping an eye out on things. So we're still selling in terms of our direction or what's going on. So that was the last kind of signal that we generated ourselves. At some point, this market will bottom out and they will start buying again. So let's have a look. What's the hour doing? So again, selling hour. So 1, 2, 3 hours there. So it's been to the bottom here, 45.22. And what's it likely to do? Nobody knows. So you see this big candle here, that's Sunday night. So at some point it may come back. There's some gaps here that need filling. You can't see them on this chart. If I go back, let's do this. So I need to go back to Sunday night. Let's do it on the 1 minute because the 5 minutes just too much. There'll be so much to go back to. Okay. So what we're looking for, that's Tuesday. Yeah, that's Sunday night. That's Sunday night. So in here is a massive gap. You can't see it on this chart. It's caught it. So it's actually an empty space. If you look on your MT4, you'll see it. And there's an empty space there, and it usually comes back to fill those. I can't share it with you, unfortunately, but I can. So I'll direct you if you guys if you're interested. So if you go to the 1 hour, I don't know whether you can see this, but here there's a massive gap. A market comes back to fill that, and our trader was talking about that this morning. That at some point the main market is filled about half of it. So that just gives you an idea of a little bit, again, education in terms of what is the market doing. And if you're going to deal with something, you need to understand it. Can't just be, you can't just be one of those people, I just want to press a button and make money. You will, but you won't make sustainable money. Yeah, you'll never be able to sustain that. It won't be a business for you. Okay. So let me have a look now. So I'm going to refresh and see what my system's telling me. So it's still saying a sell, direction confidence 75, which is quite high. So, the system thinks the market's going to drop. I'm just going to take a little bit of profit from a trade. So one of the things that I do for myself is, having been in the market for a while, sometimes I have the confidence to actually enter on my own because I think this is where the market's going. And then when the signal comes in, it just confirms what I'm already doing, or it goes against what I'm doing. So at this moment in time, I entered a buy about 10-15 minutes ago because I thought that's hit the bottom. And so this thing is telling me it's a sell. So it's a little bit of conflict in my own head. So what I generally tend to do is just do a sanity check on, does this work for me? Right? Am I still confident that I'm in the right direction in the market? That's all you have to do. If you're in the right direction, make the trend your friend, as they say. If you're buying, Market's buying, making money. You're selling, market's selling, you're making money. Go the opposite direction, then it gets a little bit painful. Okay, that hurts. And then that really is something that you think, should have done that one. So I'm now looking for some runners, as they call them. So I'm looking for runners because, has the market hit the bottom, and is it going to rise from here? Is Trump going to announce some kind of deal? So the Americans are bombing the Iranians at this moment in time. But I think that could be just a precursor to saying, right, you know what, we're done. We've taken out all your defense systems and all the rest of it, because it's all about optics. And I'll let you know how that. So my trade is doing pretty well. I'm going to just move my stop loss. Where am I? Ah, that's where I am. Yeah, that's absolutely fine. So there are 3 steps to taking a trade. First step, enter without hesitation. If you're ready to go, enter that trade. Don't think about it. Okay? As soon as you've done that, place your stop loss. Right? Next thing, set your TP. 3 steps. Enter, stop loss, TP. Now you have something called a defined outcome. Okay? You're not guessing anymore. You're not wondering anymore. You're not worried anymore. Okay? You know what the outcome of that trade is going to be. You know exactly how much money you can lose, whether it's 1%, 2%, 3%, etc., etc., etc. Right? And you know how much money you can make. Now, once you've done that, you could then walk away from that trade and forget about it. Most people don't, but that's what you could do very easily. Okay? So if you decided to do that, one thing would happen. It would either hit your stop loss or it would take profit. So as long as you do that on a ratio of, say, 1 to 3, that out of every 3 trades, you make profit on 2, you lose on 1. If that's your ratio, 66%, then brilliant. Job's good, right? You place 10 trades, you're going to lose 3, you're going to make money on 6. Fabulous. So that's one way of being in this market. And so perhaps if you're at work, signal comes in, or you're at lunchtime, you take the signal, you protect yourself by doing that. So defined outcome. You know how much you're going to lose, you're going to have, how much you're going to make as soon as you place the trade. The other way of doing it is to manage your trade. And you need 15-20 minutes per trade at least to be able to manage your trade. Okay, so what happens there is you do exactly the same 3 steps. So enter, TP, stop loss, TP. As soon as you've done that, now you manage your trade. So let's say assume it's going to be a buy. So if there's a buy, you set your TP1, and then if you come to us, we'll give you a TP2, a TP3, TP4, and a TP5. So all the way up, right? So what your job is, Vincent, the Signal subscription is, you just have to open an account with our broker, that's all. Okay? Yeah. VIP is free as well, my brother. Yeah. We decided, so when we set up this business, we decided that there was a couple of hard points that were non-negotiables for me and Matthias. So one was we were never, ever, 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 ever going to ask for a subscription. Okay. So all the education we wanted to do was we wanted to provide that for free. So there would never be a subscription to any of our services. Okay. So that was one thing. The other thing was that we did not want to take control of anybody's money. So the money that is yours would always be yours. Okay. So you open an account with a broker, your name, your account. Okay. We have nothing to do with it. So the only thing that we have to do is that it's under our arrangement with the broker. So we send you a link. And then when you actually place a trade, the broker charges you some fees. They give us a few quid actually. Simple. Right? We've got enough people that do that. We can do this. Plus, we're traders. Yeah, we're not educators. We don't sell. That's not how we make money. So anyway, going back to your trade. So what we talked about was the 3 steps. So write them down. Yeah. Enter without hesitation. Place your stop loss. Place your TP. Okay. So now what you can do is, as the market is rising, you can move your TP to TP2, and then you move your stop loss to break even, BE we call it. And soon as you've done that, just going to move, the market's moving up quite nicely. I'm just going to move my stop loss just above break even. Yeah. The wrong one there. So I've just moved my stop loss to TP1. Okay. What does that mean? So that means the worst I can do is make 30 pips or 40 or 50, whatever TP1 set up, doesn't matter. I cannot lose money on this trade now. I can only make money. And that's what I want you guys to start doing. I want you to define your outcome as, I'm going to make profit from this. Right? And this morning, I had placed a trade on all three of my accounts, set my stop loss about 20 pips above my entry point. Obviously, the trade has to get there first. And it shut me. I was making a really handsome profit, but it shut me out. I hit stop loss, but that's fine. That's it's the game. I'm not in it to make money, to be a billionaire tomorrow. Yeah, I want to do it over the next 10 years. So all three of them profitable. Not as much profit as I could have had if I'd closed it, but that's the gamble you take. That's the strategy that you employ, right? So soon as you hit break even, you can't lose any money on that trade. Soon as you place your stop loss above your break even or at TP1, now you're guaranteed profit. Happy days, right? And this is the methodology. This is the trading that I'm trying to teach you guys. And this is the knowledge that I'm trying to pass over to you, that you don't have to be scared of trading. Right? If you have your systems, as in the strategy in place, have a place where you're going to trade, have a regular time where you're going to trade from, jobs are good, right? You will make money literally every single day. And even if you don't, it doesn't matter, right? Hitting a stop loss is no big deal, okay? As long as it doesn't happen too often. You know, if you're hitting 1 out of 3, absolutely fine. No issues there whatsoever, right? Even 1 and 1, you're okay. Okay? Even 1 and 1, you're not losing any money. Where you ideally want to be is probably 3 to 1, right? 3 profitable trades, 1 loss. So let me see where this is going now, because so my profit's now a little bit less than it was. But again, I'm not worried, because the worst that can happen is I hit stop loss. My stop loss is precisely 20 pips above my break even. So my entry point's 45.23. My stop loss is 45.25. So 20 pips, right? So that's the worst that can happen. And what else could you ask for? That is the way to make money in the markets, day in, day out. And that's what successful traders do. Okay? And that's how I want you to trade. Just gonna look at what we're generating. So are you in our so we have a TWK VIP, which is our machine learning. So the system, less confidence now, still saying sell. Yeah. Currently markets at 45.28, saying best entry 45.29.15. Yeah. Targets are 45.27, 45.25, 45.23, 45.21, 45.18, all the way down there, right? So I'm about to hit. No, it didn't. It didn't hit my stop loss. Back again. Fantastic. So these, these are direction indicators, and there's like, I don't know, millions of data points that we take in terms of our um, bot trading signals. Human trading signals is institutional order flows. So where is the money sitting? What are the banks doing? What the institutions doing? And we just do what the banks do. Right, that's all we do. All we look for is what are the big boys doing. We do the same. They make billions. We make our money, and we go home. That's all there is. It's so the retail market makes up about 25% of the overall market. So great, that hit stop loss, fine, profit made. Right, thank you very much. Okay, so now we look at it and think, right, okay, do we need to go in for a sell? System's telling us 58% certainty, right? Are we in the zone? Yeah, we really are in the zone right now. So you could take a sell now, TP 22, 21, 19, 16, 14, all the way down. So 69% probability of it hitting 2262. Yeah, 33% probability of it hitting TP2. So that's quite low. Okay. So we really want to be in a position whereby we're doing the trades that are more certain. Yeah, that we're taking the trades that give us what we want. Okay. So again, if you can see on your 1 hour MT4, MT5 candle, there's a massive gap. The market is right in the middle of it. So it could come all the way down to actually take that out. And it does generally tend to fill these gaps. I'm not convinced that it's going to fill it all today, personally. Only because of geopolitical stuff that's going on. Nothing else. I try not to feel and I feel that the market is going to go up. I feel it's going to do this. Stop feeling. It doesn't care about your feelings, right? It doesn't care about that. Yeah, it cares about what somebody's willing to pay for the price of gold. Who wants it? So if there are more buyers than sellers, it's going up. More sellers, it's going down. Okay, and it's that simple. And Donald Trump probably holds more of the keys to the price of gold at this moment in time, or the price of everything at this moment in time in terms of the market than anybody else, right? And I think he knows exactly what he's doing when he's making these announcements. But that's a different story altogether, and it's for another video on something else. So we won't bother over doing that. And so, like I said, we are the market's telling, or our system's telling us to sell 23, 2262. You'd hit TP1. So let's see where it goes. And we wait patiently. Okay, we wait patiently. So, so stop loss is at 45.26. Hard stop 45.29. So we're right in between those things. So we want 45.24.53. Sorry, that was the entry. 45.22 we're looking for. So let's see what happens there. So I'm without my partner in crime, Mateus, who's out holidaying, which he thoroughly deserves. And also our trading partners are on holiday. The manual trading boys, they're in Turkey as of Friday. So I'm left holding the fort, which I really, really enjoy. But it's quiet in terms of having somebody with me is obviously a lot easier to bounce off, but that's fine. We'll try. So the market is right bang in the middle of where it needs to be. So entry, it's back at entry. Yeah, 24.12. So at 25. Okay, is it coming back in? 24.13. We're looking for 22.62. There we go. TP hit. Okay, that's simple. So that's TP1 delivered on that particular setup. 21.61. I think it may even have hit TP2. 21, yeah, just a few pipettes above that. So it's that simple. If you're in our machine learning group, if you've taken that signal, that would be TP1 hit, and you'd be out at TP1. So TP1 was 69%, TP2 was only 33%. So I'm going to wait 2 minutes to refresh. So I'm on the 5 minutes. You can be on 15 minutes, be on whatever time you like for time frame, but we recommend the 5 and the 15. Okay. So I'm going to just refresh. So we're still saying sell. Currently 23.15. It's in the zone to enter for a sell. And remember, I'm not offering you any advice. Totally up to you what you guys do. If you're in the group, you'll be able to see this. So TP1 21.65, 20.06. So we're still looking like the market's selling. The market wants to sell. But what we do is we take our, we place our trades, we take our money, and we go. And that's where we are. That's how we sit. Yeah. There's no arguments. We don't talk about, what we feel. Our emotions are completely, nothing to do with our emotions, nothing to do with our emotional state. All we're here to do is take the percentage that we want out of the trade. Okay? 1%, 2%, 3%, 20%, whatever it is. Don't be greedy. It doesn't matter what you do to that £1,000, you're not going to turn into £1 million in the next week, right? So slow and steady as she goes. And over the years, I've actually started taking less percentages. Obviously, I do this, and so I'm not able to concentrate quite 100%. Although I'm managing now, like we said, it's been about 6-7 weeks now. So I'm managing to do better because I'm used to what I'm doing now. The setup's better than when I had. I couldn't have done this with just my iPad and whatnot because I'm seeing this. Because I now have the screen in terms of the markets there. The signals are there. So I don't really have to move from here. So I'm enjoying that. So set yourself a target, have a business plan. So we started talking about that. So your business plan should be your hours that you work. So if like a contract of employment, right? What would that contain? It would tell you your place of work. So we talked about that. Yeah, your hours. So it would tell you your contracted hours. It would tell you that. Tell you your holidays, and then it would tell you your duties. So what you need to do is you need to make a contract with yourself. Okay, that contract has got to be to yourself, for yourself. And you don't have to do it by yourself. And if you want to do that, and you say, you know what, Cam, I'm really struggling with this, jump on a call with me. I won't charge you anything. Right? It's completely free. I love talking to people about their ambitions, what they want to achieve. and especially what they want to achieve from this business. And when they achieve it, well, you know what? Absolutely fantastic. So what is it that you want from here? So what are the hours you're going to do? Where's your place of work? Right. And then what do you want every day? And what you're starting out with? £500, £1,000, £200. It doesn't make any difference to me. It's your money. I really don't care. Right? What I do care about is the fact that if you come here, you have a good experience and you actually make some money and you learn something. Okay? Because you're giving up your time to listen to me and buy into the systems that I've put together so that you can trade. By the way, I've probably short-circuited your learning by 2 years. Because if you go to a course, and they give you a 3-day weekend, and they give you an academy for a year, and then you might know something in about 3 months' time. Then their job is to sell you the webinar, which is usually free. It's a weekend, or sorry, it's an afternoon, or it might be an in-person thing. You go there for nothing, but then they give you a little bit of information. But then what they want to do is warming you up basically to buy, and they want to sell you a 1-day, 2-day, 3-day course, usually a weekend, in a couple of £1,000. Then from then give you a bit more information on that, and then they want to sell you an academy at tens of thousands of pounds, and they will tell you how much money you're going to make, and it's going to be 10 times what you do as an employee. So it's well worth you sticking 10, 12, 20 grand on a credit card because you're going to make all this money. Yeah. Absolute and utter rubbish. I entered that industry in 2018 after I sold my property business. Came out of doing that within probably a year, 18 months. It was awful. The learning, the mentorship that I had in setting that kind of business up really exposed me to what that industry is really all about. And they're no different. They all learn off each other, right? So you come here, and we did it. We paid for education, or so-called education, to learn this business. Years and years and years learning the charts, Fibonacci, and this and support and resistance, and the confluences. They're indicators. I've got a couple on here, and that's what they talk about. But in the meantime, you're paying out thousands of pounds for this promise that is rarely fulfilled. Okay? Because their business isn't to make you successful. Their business is to sell you more courses. Remember that. Okay? Their business is to sell you more courses. I don't sell courses. Never have. Never will in this industry. Because I don't think you can learn with a course. You learn trading by doing. You don't learn to ride a bike by sitting in a classroom for a week. You don't learn to swim by sitting in a classroom for a week. Yeah? You do it in the pool, or you do it on the bike. You might have stabilizers, and you might have a life vest, or whatever they call them, on to help you, but you don't do it sitting in a classroom. And trading's the same. You don't learn it in a classroom. You learn it here in the field, right? So it doesn't matter a jot to me, like I said, if you start with £100, £50, £50,000, £100,000, and I've had them all. I had people start with a few £100s, had people start with 80, 90, 100, £200,000, right? And so it goes. But you're not in competition with those people. You're trading for yourself, never by yourself. That's the slogan, right? So trade with Cam, you're never trading by yourself, right? But you're trading for yourself. You're trading for yourself. You're trading for the goals that you have. You're trading for the employment that you want, the business, the finances, right? That's what you're trading about. And we're talking a lot about mindset and business today. But if you don't get the mindset and the business right, forget about trading. You're never going to succeed at it. Yeah? You're never, ever, 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 ever going to succeed at it if your mindset's not right. Okay? Remember that. Never, ever, ever, ever forget that. So trading, let's come back to it. Look at what the market's doing now. Yeah? So again, I went against my own signals and modify. So just modified my trade, just moved it up 20 pips above my entry point. So that's a second trade that you witness now, whereby I'm guaranteed profit. Guaranteed to make money. Doesn't matter how much, I don't care. Yeah? We'll work that out at the end of the day. I'm not worried about that. If you're always closing in the blue, as in profit, you can't lose your account. Okay? So what's the system telling me? Let's have a look. I'm going to refresh now because we've got no live signals today. He's on holiday. We're in a sell, 63%. And current is 45.31 because it obviously knows that. TP1 is, so the fundamentals of the market are that it's coming down, even though what you're seeing is going up. It's really, really kind of a strange thing to get used to, but it is happening, right? And it happens. So that's where we are with that. So like I said, we scalp, so we see price action. Okay? And that's what I'm looking at. Look at that now. So all the way to here. So last hour just been wiped out. Yeah. So the market's come back. Was that the day's bottom? So the day's bottom, and look on this range here, this tells you. So it's moving away now from the bottom. So 45.21 it's done. Yeah, market's down $40 point, almost 1% today. This is from the starting point when it started trading in Sydney last night. And by the way, all of this stuff that I'm talking to you about, I've learned it since I started doing this business. I do have a financial services and an entrepreneurial background, but that stands for nothing these days. Yeah, so I was an IFA for about 6-7 years. Had a great time, but then I thought financial services industry, bit of a con really, to be honest with you. Right? They give you 3% a year and think I expect you to be happy. The only people that get rich are them, right? So now what we do is we're doing it for ourselves. And there's nothing nicer. There's nothing more noble than working for yourself and your family to make your life better. So I don't know how you guys are trading at this moment in time. I'm actually in a buy. So I'm up about 80 pips so far. And I'm going to try and take it up to there. Yeah. 45. So we'll set the TP 45. It's at 35 at the moment. And I'm going to move my stop loss to 45. $30. So you want to let it breathe. Yeah, so we've got about 50 pips there. No, giving it some wiggle room. Then it's 26. It's about 40 pips above my entry point. So we talked about defined outcome. So we know what the outcome of this trade is going to be. I'm not going to lose money on this trade at all. Okay, we're going to make money. And if it goes all the way up, we'll make a couple of hundred pips. And if it doesn't, then we still make 40 pips. It's not a bad deal, is it? Right? So I'm very bullish as a trader. I'm an optimist in terms of where I am. Always think it's going to give me a couple of hundred pips. And I regularly take 100 pips out on a trade. Yeah. I'm about 60 pips up now. So let's see if it eases up or if it goes and does what we think it, or I think it's going to do. So it's going down. So again, so conditions have changed. We're into a buy. So the system's telling me to buy. Your entry point is 31.22 to 32.25. So it's just in range now. So you could take that as a buy. Your OK entry is 30 to 33, and don't chase it above 33. So if it gets above 33, 38, do not enter. That's what it's telling us, right? I don't make it up. I'm just reading off my screen. You could have this information to you. Vincent, start with as much as you can and start with as much as you're willing to lose. Okay? Don't go crazy. Don't go borrowing. Yeah, if it's a few £100, then it's a few £100. That's the reality. If it's a few £1,000, it's a few £1,000. In an ideal scenario, if you say, Cam, how much money in an ideal world should I have? I think you should have about 500. Yeah. But if you haven't had an account with my broker, which is PU Prime for this business, then they will double your deposit. So if you put in $250, they'll give you another $250 to trade with. So you have $500. So for $1,000 or £1,000, they'll double your deposit, right? So you get twice as much money to trade with. But brother, I know you're in Kenya, and I know that low wage economies, it's really tough, right? So if it's a few $100, it's a few $100. Don't worry about it. Yeah. Only problem is that the smallest lot size you can have is 0.01. And really, I would say you need a lot. You need $250 to have a lot size of 0.01 minimum. Okay. But I can talk to you guys. Vincent, arrange a call. I don't mind speaking to you, brother. Right? Anytime. So we're in profit. We're in a buy. Mark, yeah, our signal system's telling us to buy, which I really like because I think the market is buying. I think it's hit the bottom, but we shall see. So where is it going now? So the target is 34.22 for TP1. And it thinks that there's a 76% possibility of hitting that. And the 40% target, 40% of hitting 35. It's already done 35. So we can be pretty sure that it may do that. So TP5 is 45.43. Yeah, so my 45.45 is 20 pips above that. So let's see what goes. By the way, you're allowed to change your mind. If you see a decent profit, you think, you know what, I'll take that. You're allowed to close. You're allowed to change your mind and close your trade. So here she goes. It's a game of patience being a trader. Real game of patience. Hey guys, welcome if you joined us a little bit later. And Vincent, if you WhatsApp me on this number, I'm on my own today. So normally between Mateus and I, we would manage all of this. So I've really got to just sit and talk to you. And then obviously manage it. If you've got WhatsApp, just WhatsApp me on this number, right? Or go and scan this QR code. I don't know where that gets you into. If it may get you into the Telegram group, or it may get you to my WhatsApp. We change it occasionally. So wherever those two contact points are, you can get hold of me. And as soon as I finish here, I'll send over the link to you. Yeah, it'd be my absolute pleasure. So if you're not trading with us, in terms of you're not in our Telegram groups, you're not in our community, you're just not in our ecosystem, message me. Yeah, go to WhatsApp, just message me. Hey Cam, can you put me in the Telegram group? You don't have to buy anything off me. Yeah, our general Telegram group you can get into, and we do a little bit in there. Then, in order to actually receive the signals, you need to be in with the brokers, and have to have an account there for obvious reasons, right? So yeah, we're making money. We're in profit. Are you guys in profit? Are you taking the trades? Are you trading with us? So we're currently in a buy. We entered around 45, 31, 32. And we're about 35, 40 pips up. We've hit TP2, by the way. That's TP2 hit. Beautiful. We're above TP2 now. So this is, remember I was talking to you about moving that stop loss. Yeah. You can start moving that up now. Yeah. So I'm at 100 pips on that trade. And I'm just going to move my own stop loss up another 20 pips because you're banking profits now. So Mateus talks about taking partials. He does that. I don't. So you can listen to him about, he that's his, and no two traders are ever the same. 38, that's TP3 hit. Absolutely amazing. Yeah. Okay, here we go. Where am I? I think I'm doing this right. Okay, so we're at 38. Let's see where we get to. This is interesting. So that's TP3. So you could take that. Yeah, may slip back. So let's go on the 5 minutes, see what it's doing. So there you go. I was thinking around about here. This is what I've targeted. And so it's 38. Has it got more room? It's got more to go. So now this is when you zoom out. So you look at this. So the hour is very neutral. So the 9 o'clock's just open, but it's, yeah. So I didn't realize it hit 9 o'clock already. We're having fun. So coming back a little bit and it can retrace. Yeah. So it could be targeting this 42, 45. Let's see. Let's come back a little bit. So you could have taken TP3 and be out. You can still, are you still in? All right. Are you still in the market? Or did you take the money and run? So what we'll do is we'll refresh again, see what it's telling us. So that was 9 o'clock. You can buy 35 to 36. Right. It's in range. Best entry 35 to 36 is for a buy. Okay, entry 34. So it's in range now. 76% confidence. TP1 38, 39 TP2, 42 TP3, 44, 47 TP5. TP5 is 47. TP4 is 44.74. So interesting. On the last trade, or the last time I spoke about this, I said I'm targeting 45. It's come into the range now, right? So the system now is saying, hey, TP5 could be 45, 48, right? I'd be long gone by then. But like I said, we've got a guaranteed profit of 40 pips, okay, which isn't bad. TP1's usually 20, 30 pips. And if that's what it ends up as, so be it. And the other thing about the market is that the entry point is the key. Okay, if you enter properly, if you take your time entering, yeah, and look and observe, we've done all the work for you. There's nothing for you to do. So I'm on the 5 minute signal refresh. Okay, so I could have taken a second trade just now, by the way. So I could have kept that open and taken a second one. Sometimes I do it, sometimes I don't. And the sometimes I don't usually is when I'm doing this. When I'm on my own, I've got my head is actually here 100%. I'm paying attention. Then generally speaking, I will take a second and a third trade. We call it layering. And again, I can teach you that and talk about that in terms of where we should be. But for now, are you in the trades? Are any of you in trade right now? Have you taken this And are you what you're looking for, what you're targeting? And the market's the market, we can do all the calculations, we can look at all the charts, we can give you the signal. It still does whatever it wants to do. Okay, so don't think that we have any influence on what's going on here. So it's come a little bit back now off this nice strong 5-minute candle, nice strong 5-minute candle, smaller, less strength in the sells, more strength in the buys. And by the way, there is a point at which gold looks cheap to traders and bankers. So they will come in and buy. And that happened last week quite a lot. They thought that it was cheap and it was time, they call it buying the dip. So they buy it when it's low because they know it's gone to a point where, you know what, there's a bargain now. We're around about this kind of point, 45, 20 at the moment, seems like gold is cheap. Because remember, it's been up to almost $5,600 an ounce. So there's $1,000 an ounce discount on this right now, right? Lots of information to take in, right? Lots of information to take in. But the more you hear it, the more you'll retain. That's all it is. All you got to do is show up. I'll do all the rest. Yeah, Matthias and I'll do all the rest. We'll give you the signals. We'll give you this. We'll give you the ideas. We'll walk you through the trades. You just got to turn up. Open your account, put some money in, turn up. I'll tell you something, guaranteed it's going to change your life in the next 12 months. Right. So what I did forget to do today was bring some water up for myself. And usually I'll take a little break because I've got contractors around doing things and go and talk to them. So we'll go through the hour. Let's see how we get on. If I need to take a couple of minutes, I'm sure you'll be able to excuse me for that amount of time. Just go and grab some water or coffee or something. So yeah, we're trading. So you could pull down a signal at any point. So it's just looking, I can't see my time on my, of course I can see it's 5 past, so on the 5 minutes, I'm going to refresh it and get another one working. Here we go. Buy, 67% confidence. TP5 still 46.29. TP4 is 43, TP3 is 40. TP1 is 37.09. So we're on the 5 minutes. That candle is when my last signal came in. So if you're in the 5-minute time frame, you stick to the 5 minutes. If you're in the 15-minute time frame, sit, and then you have your chart on the 15. You look for signals on the 15th, and you refresh every 15 minutes. So let's see what goes now. So I'm about 10 pips above my SL, which is TP3. Yeah. So if it hits it, still made money. Doesn't hit it, goes back up, made more money. Yeah. So now it's just a case of on a trade like this, how much money are you going to make? So my entry point is 26.39. My exit point is 45 if it gets there. Stop loss set at 32. Hits it, we still make 40 pips. And if I was trading by myself, I would probably have taken the 100 pips, to be honest with you. Sometimes it's like now I can do this with you because I'm live trading, but I can't lose any money. The worst I'm going to do is make 40 pips, right? The best I'm going to do is make 200 pips. But then I'm happy to let this play out so that I can talk to you guys And so you get the feel for what the market's up. Okay. Next TP so TP1 is 3709, TP2 is 3869, TP3 is 4540, TP4 is 4543, TP5 is 4546. I hope you've got all those, Vincent. So like I said, I'm on the 5 minutes. I'm going to refresh in 2 minutes time and see what our system is telling us. By the way, self-learning. So the more signals we take, the more trades we take with our broker, that's fed back to us now. So creating a data lake, that's what the team calls it. So that data lake's learning, a bit like Tesla. So we've been driving around. I've had a Tesla for 9 years. We've been driving around and it's been mapping all the roads that it goes on. Google spent billions sending cars out with cameras. Tesla actually sold us a car, took the data for nothing. Right? So every road's mapped out, so they know all the potholes and all the bits and bobs. And that's how self-driving's actually come about. They could not have been able to self-drive those cars had we not been collecting data for them. So that's what's been going on. So we're doing the same thing. We're collecting data on every trade that anybody else places. And there's some back office stuff that we've got where you can analyze your own trading and have a look at it and see what you've been doing. It really is next level stuff. So 909, I'm not going to refresh you. I'm going to resist the temptation to press the button again. So these are the best way to describe it is signals on demand. So you can trade at a time that suits you, take the signals that you want at a time that, where it's 5 minutes, 15 minutes, and do your trading and go home. So hit 30, hit my stop loss, made 40 pips. Thank you very much. Right, wait for the next one. So here we go, it's 10 past. So what does that do? We're refreshing. So we're still buying, not quite as much confidence. We're on 57%, right? So what did we say? Enter the market, do not hesitate. So buys been pressed. Now stop loss. So the first thing is put your stop loss in. Second thing is your third thing is put your TP in. So buys done, enter the market. Slightly above the best entry, but certainly within tolerances. And then TP1 is 33.48. 69% possibility of hitting that. Right? I'm in profit now. Only small, selling pennies at the moment, but we're in profit. And that's what trading's all about, making money. Okay? Managing the risk, managing your downside, and then taking the profit. Now, I understand now it's very difficult if you're not seeing the signals and you don't really know what you're doing in terms to follow what I'm doing. But this thing here is to get you used to the talk, get you used to trading, get you used to pressing the button. Okay? And delivering on what I call the business, which is trade with Cam. So you can trade with me. So we're in profit, we're in and out, we're at break even for me. So you can go to the 1 minute, it shows me a little bit more detail what's happening. So that's where we are. So market TP1 was 33.48. Stop loss, by the way, is 29.41. So best entry was 30 to 31. And above 32.64, so don't chase it, which means don't place a trade. above that entry point. Oh, yeah, SL hit. Shame, but it is what it is. That's what the SL's for. Yeah. So now it's 13 minutes past. I'm going to wait 2 more minutes and see what the system's telling me. Yeah, usually the case. Straight back up. So I'm going to hit this early. See whether it's changed its mind. In a buy, 57%. Not as confident. So I'm just going to check on a few other things on my accounts. Okay, absolutely fine there. I have different accounts for different reasons. So long term, short term, income, etc. Then the other thing is it's, I've got a decent amount in there now. It kind of protects me from myself that if anything untoward was to happen, I'd still, 2 of my accounts still be around. Because I do sometimes do stupid things. I take huge lot sizes when I think something's going to come off. Still got, it's a good habit and a bad habit because I make a lot of money. Then, but that opens me up to losing a lot of money. So when I'm not around here with you guys, that does happen. So in order to guard that, it's like an insurance policy for me. Sometimes I trade all 3 accounts. Sometimes I trade 1. So this morning I've been trading all 3, and now I'm just trading 1. And it's a bit like driving. You've got to pass your test. You've got to do the rules and do that with the steering wheel and all that kind of stuff. But as soon as you pass your drive, you've passed it and you can drive, you can do that with it. Which basically means that, once you've learned the basics of trading, and with us it's not difficult because obviously we've given you all the tools, that within a few months you can start talking about these things. So market's really ranging. If you look at the bigger picture here, not really doing much from that kind of point. Yeah, been up there, come down to here. It's 5 minutes. Let's see what it's doing. So it's a selling hour. I cut this out. So it's taken all that, engulfed that candle and that one as well. It could take this one as well. So London is currently on the hour she's selling. So I'm going to hit refresh. I don't know whether I did 2 minutes ago or not. So I'm on the 5 minutes. So now system's thinking that it's a sell. But that could have been 2-3 minutes ago. So I shouldn't have really done that. If you're on the 5 minutes, you should be on the 5 minutes, which means, on the hour, 5 past, 10 past, 15 minutes past, etc. Means exactly that. So we did two, maybe three profitable trades since I've been on with you guys today. Could have had more profit, but I just waited in terms of didn't take the TP3s and TP2, TP3s, just to be with you and talk you through this stuff more than anything else, to be honest with you. So in a couple of trades, slight drawdown in one and profit in the other. Let's see what the market wants to do. So we're at 919, so at 20 past, I'm going to press the button. We'll go through more of this tomorrow with Mateus because he's got a little bit more experience of this system than I have. So I've learned a lot by being on my own today, because obviously normally he will do a lot of this because he's been using the system for a lot longer than I have. But this is, this is my adaptation of how I'm going to use it. So I only press the button every 5 minutes. Patience. Yeah. If the market, we've done both buys and sells this morning, which just tells me it's a ranging market. And with a system like this, you can make money buying and selling. Obviously, you've seen that. So it's 20 past. I'm going to press, see what she's telling me. Buy, 55% confidence. Range is 28 to 29, 41. Just in and out of range. I'd take it if I was going to get into that market. I'm in at 28.78. So right in the middle of that. And then T1 is 31.38, 32.81, 34, 36, 39. It's a little bit lower than before, the expectation of the highs. So again, the range is tightening up. So for me, I would be thinking that's back in range. Okay entry. So it's coming down. Hard stop is 24. Otherwise, SL is 27. So you see it forming a little pattern there, support there at this point. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 minutes for the last 10 minutes. It's not come below that. So sometimes it'll come and it forms a support and it'll bounce off that. Yeah. Sometimes it becomes a resistance. If it goes through it, then it'll probably hit this here, because it's at this point, could hit this, go down there, it could go all the way down and then see what happens. The whole essence of, when you see the profit, take it, book your profits, as my colleague always says, book your profits, book your profits, book your profits. So when you see a profit, want to take it, just take it. Yeah, they don't need all the theory and the paraphernalia of what I talk about every morning. So we had a few sell signals, we had a few buy signals, and it's natural because the market is ranging. There's no real direction at this moment in time, especially for day traders. So I kind of hovered around taking the 15 minutes and the 5 minutes. My personal view is that I think I may move over to the 15 minutes. It's a little bit busy, the 5 minutes for me. but then that's experience. So in a couple of buys, one's in profit, one's got a slight drawdown. So I entered a second trade today, or on this particular set. He's sawing outside. What's he saying? Where is he? Interesting. Sorry guys, my camera went there. I didn't know how much of you lost. Sometimes it turns itself off. Strangest thing in the world. Hopefully you can still hear me. So yeah, we've I didn't realize we'd gone off. It's a stupid, sophisticated thing that decides to turn itself off sometimes. Yeah, so we've 3 minutes into that trade, up and down. It's a ranging market. Nothing's really happening at this moment in time. So there's no great movements. There's no news. So it's just meandering in between lots of points. Buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell. That's all it seems to be doing. Let's see what we got. We're at 55. Got the last 5 minutes with you guys. Still saying sell, 73% confidence in that. So still saying sell, sell, sell. TP1 is 23. TP2 is 21. TP3 is 19. So if you're still in this by 10.24, TP1's not hit, reduce your risk. So you see that we call it a trade card, not really a signal. So this is your trade cards. And there's a lot of guidance on there. You need to start looking at it, whether you've got the systems or you're yet to get them. 73% confidence of direction. Yeah, 79 overall setup score. From 24 down to 23 is 1, 21's 2. Just ranging right in the middle of it all. If you're monitoring your trades, got your SLs and your TPs set. So I've got about 5 minutes. So whatever happens now, I'm going to press a button. I'm not going to take the trade with you because I won't be able to manage it, but I will talk to you about it. 57. So we could do that quite easily. Still selling all the way down to 45.13. So here endeth our 2 hours. So thank you very much for those of you that have been here. I'll be back at 1 o'clock. Hopefully you join me for some more trading ideas about your business, about mindset, and everything else that we need to become complete and successful traders, not trainers. Right? I wish you all the best for this afternoon, whatever you're doing. It's another hot day out there. So if you're enjoying the sunshine, then please do. And hope you had a successful training session this morning with me. So I've got another meeting straight after, so I won't be hanging around. I'm just going to prep for my next meeting. I won't be taking any more signals. As I said, got 10 o'clock, which I will. There you go. Send the link off. We will be joining. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll wait now until 10 o'clock. She'll sign off with you guys. As I said, hope you've enjoyed this. Always fun to be here. Really enjoy the live sessions that we do. Want to put some value into people's lives and provide them with a platform that they can actually trade and be successful on. So absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much. So we're going to wrap up now. So take care. I'll see you all at 1 o'clock this afternoon. Happy trading. Bye now.